right. Hello, everybody. Hello, Access Consciousness Facebook page. I'm Alison Cox. These are my friends and colleagues, Sean Van Orden and Arthur Wood.
Ooh.
We're here to engage with you, or at least, talk about engaging a little bit.
Why are we talking about it, Alison?
Well, I don't know, because, every time I think about I'm like, yeah, engaging. And then I tap into what the world wants to know about engaging. I'm like, oh, that's about as exciting as happiness. Like, wow.
The conversation on happiness. That sounds really light and fun.
The joy of engaging.
The joy of engaging. Ooh, extra terrible. Gross.
Yeah, God, it's heavy.
So we, what do we do? What do we do, guys?
Well, why is that? Why is it such a heavy conversation?
Well, I would like to good question. I would like to read you know how words have meanings and like you've had many lifetimes perhaps. Oh no, I have my volume on. You've had all these lifetimes and like certain words, certain things you've been through like bring stuff up for you. And I was like, wow, what does engagement bring up for people? So I'm like, oh, maybe that's why. So I looked it up in the 1828 dictionary. Oh no, where'd it go? I lost it.
Wah, wah.
I failed. I thought I took a picture of it. Anyway, I can remember what it says, but ooh, there it is. So the second meaning of it is great. I'm like, yes, this is what engaging is, and it's awesome. And the second is an adjective, and it means winning, attractive, tending to draw the attention or the affections like of others, pleasing, as engaging manners or address. And I'm like, that sounds pretty cool, I guess. Whatever, And then the first one is pawning, make liable for debt, enlisting, bringing into a party or cause, promising, binding, winning and attaching, encountering and embarking. And there's a whole bunch of definitions that basically mean war and battle and all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shall we engage?
Well, that's what we're here to talk about is, off with Arthur's head.
Okay. I'll just go another one.
So like, how long has Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, been asking at least the people that work with Access and the facilitators to engage?
32 years.
32 years.
Since he founded the company.
And how many people love engaging so far in Access? If you just kind of like sense, what do you sense?
I would sense that most of us don't engage, we communicate. And this goes to, getting to the big five recently and the fifth element where we're always the savior. Our engaging is actually communication, where we're basically telling that person our point of view, and we're hoping that you change yours or that we're able to save you from the point of view that you have. And so we've already decided and determined that they have a problem. And so we stick them there and then we try to bring them to our reality, but there's no presence involved because we have already decided that there's a problem that we need to fix. So I sense most of us are functioning in that capacity and trying to be the savior always, rather than what being in question, right? Like, what's the one thing that I could ask this person that could give them a totally different set of possibilities to choose from?
Totally. That's awesome. I love that. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, there is a big difference between being interested and interesting. And that savior comes in there quite a bit, I think.
Oh, totally. Because being interested or being interesting is nothing but talking about yourself, and there's no question at all involved in being interesting. So when you're interested in someone, how do you be interested? Well, you ask questions and you let them drive the conversation wherever they want to go. And those questions are creating new awareness that they may not have had before about different possibilities they could choose.
Well put.
Right. So if Arthur, if someone's just totally being interesting and they're just talking about themselves and they're talking about their problems and they're basically needing you to be like to save them or to align and agree with what you're saying, or resist and react so you'll go away, or whatever they're doing. Some people don't really have a reason for what they're doing. How would you engage someone like that?
When somebody's telling me all about them, I'm asking them questions all about them. I always want to know more. And if somebody wants to word vomit or vent, I love being an ear for that.
Cool.
Yeah, Arthur, you embody engagement probably more than anyone that I've seen. Like, especially in class with people you don't know, you will step into their world and let them, and you just ask them questions and talk. That's why everybody likes you, right?
I appreciate that.
Well, most, there's a few, but yeah, you are so good at that. So what, like when you are engaging with someone or when you're like working a room, what is going, like, what's your thought process through that, or how are you engaging there?
Well, I've got this saying. My first boss instilled in me that good things happen when you talk to people.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
You froze.
I mean, we could end it just right there. Good things happen when you talk to people. That was great.
Well, actually, yes, that's a good end line. Do you want to come in here? Arthur's actually here. That's too funny.
He comes in there. Can we remove his cute little picture?
Let's see. Do you want to try to
There we go.
I mean, ding. See, you can even engage with computers. Oh my God. That's been like the worst this week. I'm like, when you like think that everything's going wrong and you come to the conclusion that like my computers aren't working, it must be Mercury in retrograde, blah, blah, blah. And then if you would just relax and ask a question and actually engage and acknowledge that maybe there's not a problem, there's just something you're not being aware of, then everything changes.
You mean ask a question to gain awareness there? Like totally. And you know what I'm seeing, Alison, with engaging as I engage more is it's so much like doing an SOP session on someone where you're just being that presence and literally engaging, except you're doing that while having a conversation with someone, right? It's that level of presence that goes into that engaging. And it's interesting to see how few of us most of us are just thinking of the next thing that we're going to say, right? That person is talking to us, and in our mind, all we're doing is thinking about what we want to say in rebuttal to that, rather than asking just another question or just being present with that person. And then maybe a response is, warranted, or maybe it's another question for that person. So yeah, I find myself doing that all the time. So if we could pock and pod all of that, that would be everything that keeps us going to not being present in conversations. That would be really helpful for the engaging aspect.
Will you all destroy and uncreate that? Times the gods. Right, bad pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. I know, even from that definition of like in both the good and the bad version, there was winning in both of them. Like, it's good if you're judged correctly. So you're always like looking to, here comes Mr. Arthur. You're always looking to like get the right answer, at least to be judged good. Or you need to go into battle, basically fight against or separate from. So you need to find the answer that is either going to be like your point of view.
You're trying to be the savior.
Yeah, you're trying to be the savior. You're trying to save others or save yourself. And what if you didn't have to do any of that? What if
how much of our conversations are just trying to save people
and prove things
and prove that we're right? I mean, oh my God. This fifth element is really crazy. Arthur,
I don't know, man. Just let it be.
You were on the struggle bus today, buddy.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potency and capacity around this conversation. So there you go.
So going on with your conversation from before, Arthur, good things happen when you talk to people.
Yeah, good things happen when you talk to people. Every chance of engagement, every opportunity, every possibility of engagement changes the world. It creates. And if you want to create a future, you have to engage. I think Gary Douglas said that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to everybody. Everybody's got a unique story. Everybody's got that thing that little possibility you didn't know was there. That little tweak, that little question that could change everything. And I'm in on that. I like that.
I think we had a conversation and we made a video about it. It's floating around on Facebook and stuff. And listening to that, I didn't hear it the first time. I even edited the video and I didn't hear it. Maybe it was when I was editing, but I was like, whoa. Because you said every engagement changes the future. Every engagement changes the world. And I was like, wait a minute. It really does. Oh my God. Just like Sean was saying with SOP sessions, which don't even have talking. So engagement doesn't necessarily have to involve talking. It's what's joyful for you, basically. And that can be totally silent too.
Yeah, there's all types of ways to engage, right? It doesn't just have to be in conversation.
Right.
Like, I mean, engaging through social media, right? You could do that. I mean, and a lot of what we talked about the first time was how do we engage to grow our business, So it doesn't just mean talking to people, but when you are talking to people, it is that level of presence and engaging with the molecules that you could change to create a different possibility. Right. But not being in judgment if you don't get to that every time either.
Interesting point of view. Exactly.
Yeah. Who knows what you changed, even if it looked like you didn't change anything.
I've noticed it doesn't always show up right away.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
It's but when an immediate impact, Yeah.
I think I mentioned it on one of our interviews. When it does show up, if you're not open to all the possibilities, you can miss the change. You can miss that little nuance, that little difference that happened or occurred. And so it's really important to be present and acknowledge all those changes.
The subtle differences, the energetic differences, even a softening in your body. Right. And I like what Sean said at the very beginning too. There was you have to go watch this again to hear what he said. Just kidding, I'll tell you. But you can watch it again if you want. Sean gave away one of the biggest secrets of engaging, except he said engaging is actually communicating. And there's communicating, like talking at each other and that proving thing, or there's also an energetic communication. So trees are always communicating. Plants and trees are the same.
Yeah, they are.
Or maybe even an energetic engagement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just you being in a room, how does that shift the room? When you walk in a room full of people and you perceive everyone and you're like, I don't know if I want to stay here or be here. What if if you were to lower your walls and barriers, you were actually allowing yourself to engage with all of those energies, and they get to, like, if you add yourself anywhere, everything around you has to change. If you put up walls and barriers around you and you keep yourself separate, nothing can change.
Well, how many of us have walked into a room and immediately perceived the anger that was in the room from someone there?
I can feel it from like across the world.
I know. That's engagement, right? Walking in, you are engaging with the molecules in the room. You're perceiving what's going on. But I would say a lot of people will walk into that same room and they are so lost in thought, or they are so not present with what's going on that they would totally miss it, So there's a lot there. I was kind of looking at engagement too as we came up, and I came across this thing that Gary had said. He was like, the flower, does it only smell when you smell it, Or does it always smell and it's waiting for you to engage with it to get the smell, right? So
Love
I thought that was
That's
that.
really
cool.
cool. Yeah.
My head also went somewhere else. I'm like, oh, you could do that with poop too. Just kidding. Flowers are much better.
Sean, you always
Okay, Alison.
really.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever
And
you're
then,
into.
whatever you're into. So the cool thing too is us three have such different ways of engaging, and it's like, so do you. All of you have a completely unique way of engaging. And so far, this reality has told you it's this way or that way, the good or bad way. And if you don't do it the right way, if you don't get the right reactions, you better quit. You better run and hide. You better not engage, or you better become a victim so that everyone that's functioning from the fifth element comes to talk to you.
Or how about I'm too superior to engage?
Yeah.
Or I'm too superior to engage, which equals no engaging, no smelling of the flowers. So, and I love Arthur's point of view, where he's just like, "What's up, world? Like, hey, hi, how's it going? Boom, 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 boom." Not afraid to ask, and it's like, okay, you can try. And like Sean, also, Sean, I have watched Sean too, like a stalker. I'm like, what's he doing? And he is just, there is no way to describe. Like, looks like a dude who I'm like, I don't know, is he approachable? I think so. And then you go say hi to him and he's like, hi. I'm like, that's so awesome. It's like these guys have such cool ways of engaging that you actually, you cannot define, you cannot describe, and they have not existed yet. I'm going to acknowledge I don't think they've existed or been allowed to exist on the planet, which is, I wonder what is possible for you guys to explore about yourselves. Like, what engagement do you have that has never been possible before on the planet so far that now is a possibility?
And by coming to this class or attending the
Right.
telecall, like what questions can you ask that will open up a whole new level of, understanding around engagement? Because I would say us three, outside of Gary and Dane, we're the first three to really start pioneering this space any more than what I've been able to find in reference material.
Right.
There's never been classes. So this will have a huge impact on your life, the friends that you have, your business, especially if you're trying to grow your business. Gary and Dane always talk about how important it is to engage. So it's a great opportunity to come and explore this and come play, because we're learning a lot of this as we go. We know we're good at engaging, but what can we learn from you that could create a different possibility for us in terms of our level of understanding of, what is true engagement?
Yeah, exactly. So the class Sean's referencing to is The Gift of Engagement. It's a 3-part telecall series that us three are pioneering next week on Tuesday, the 6th through the 8th. We'd love to have you there.
Come join us.
Come join us.
Or don't, whatever.
Do whatever you want.
You probably wouldn't create any.
Don't expect us to engage with you if we see you next and you're not there. So
we're going to bully you. Just kidding.
Bullying and poop. We're really kicking ass on this.
Yes, we
I like
are.
the mean one, I think.
But you look so cuddly and nice.
Oh, don't I? I know. I tricked
gaslighting engager.
Awesome. Anything you'd like to leave everybody with, Arthur?
Good things happen when you talk to people.
Good things happen when you talk to people. Awesome.
Cool. Well, come play with us.
Come play with us.
Thanks, everyone.
We hope to see you on the call or somewhere live around the world. Thank you.
Thank you.